Thank you for your interest in SmartFIll. This video is to give you some information and guidance in setting up and using SmartFIll. Most likely you've already received trial registration keys, but if you haven't, feel free to reach out to our sales team at sales@rocktonsoftware.com or call 877-4ROCKTON and they can get you keys. Also, the steps provided in this video are included in the white paper you received. Any links you see here will be in the white paper as well. Let's start with installing SmartFIll. To install, go to our product download page and select SmartFIll as the product. Then select the version. Mark your product, then click Download Selected. After the file is downloaded and saved in the location you wish, extract the files and then open the folder. Right-click the SmartFIll Setup.exe and choose Run as Administrator. In the installation wizard, verify your path and then click Install. And verify everything installed successfully, and then click Exit. Next, log into GP by right-clicking and choosing Run as Administrator. When you launch, you'll be asked to include new code, so click Yes, and then log in. At the Install wizard, click Next, accept the license agreement, and click Next, and then the install will complete by creating the necessary tables and stored procedures in your Dynamics database. Then you'll receive a message to close GP to complete the installation. Click OK, and then click Finish. During the login, you'll notice the Checking for Newer Builds message. This will appear to administrators, and it's to let you know if a new build of SmartFIll is available. This message can be turned off, which we'll cover later, but we do recommend you leave it on for at least one admin so you're aware of new builds. It's letting us know the SmartFIll installation is complete. Click OK, and then we'll move on to registration. For future reference, we do have a KB article with information on installing our products. Here's the path to the article. You'll find it in the white paper as well. Now that the install is complete and GP is initialized, let's go ahead and close out of GP and relaunch so we can enter the registration keys. Since I don't have any valid registration keys entered, the Rockton Software Registration Issues window will open for me, letting me know. From here, I can click Get Keys, or I can manually enter the keys by double-clicking SmartFIll, using the path from Microsoft Dynamics GP, or click the blue R and click SmartFIll Setup. The blue R is only available to those users who have the SmartFIll admin role. From here, I can click Registration, and I'll paste in the keys, tab off, and now I'm registered. If you have issues with your registration keys not working, you can view this KB article to determine what might be causing the issue. If after reviewing you still have issues with your registration keys, contact our sales team at sales@rocktonsoftware.com for further assistance. When you install SmartFIll, a new security role is added for SmartFIll admins. When you assign this role to a user, they will have access to all SmartFIll setup windows. For all other users, SmartFIll will automatically work for them as long as they have the default user task assigned to one of their roles, as we add to that task when SmartFIll is installed. SmartFIll is ready to use out of the box, so typically there isn't much to set up. We have default objects that are included with SmartFIll. These can be found under the blue R, and click Objects. Again, only SmartFIll admins will have access to that blue R. And you can access this window from the Microsoft Dynamics GP menu as well. Objects are essentially the lookups used throughout GP. We've created the most common for you already, such as accounts, customers, employees, and vendors. You can use these objects as is, or create new objects. You can also modify the existing objects to include additional fields. For example, using the vendors object, we could add additional fields and determine whether it is a display field, a searchable field, or both. Only one object may be assigned to a field at one time. So let's take a look at the repository to see how to assign these lookups to a field. The repository stores the window and field combination where the lookup is used. You can access the repository from various places. You can use the Microsoft Dynamics GP menu. You can access it from the SmartFIll Objects window, the SmartFIll Object Maintenance Details window, and also from the blue R. Each object is tied to repository records. This determines where SmartFIll will invoke. For example, there's a lookup in the Customer ID field in Customer Maintenance. There's also one in Sales Transaction Entry. Notice when I enter CNT, it checks the customer number and the customer name for those letters. Another example is the account number in the Account Maintenance window, where I can type in part of my number and get my results. Entering a journal entry is really easy when you use SmartFIll. And you can type in part of the description to find the account as well. So now that you see how the window and field combinations work, let's add another repository record. We'll add the vendor to the Purchasing All-in-One View window. So in the repository window, click the plus symbol. This will open the Lookup Creation wizard. Click Next, then select the object you're going to use. We'll use Vendors, and click Next. You'll want to open the window where you're going to add the lookup. So we'll go to Inquiry, Purchasing, Purchasing All-in-One View. Click in the field where we're going to add the lookup, which is Vendor, and then click Add Lookup. And then click Done. We'll close the window and reopen it. We'll type in part of the vendor and make our selection. And now I can see my results. If I type in more of the vendor and tab, it only finds one record, so it populates the window for me. For future reference, we do have a KB article with the steps on adding a lookup to another window. Earlier I mentioned you may turn off the Checking for Newer Builds message. We have a KB article with the steps on how to disable this message, but let's walk through it together as well. To turn off the Checking for Newer Builds message, go to Help, Rockton Software Support, click Settings, and Rockton Software Preferences. In the User-Specific Settings section, select the user and unmark the Enable Check for Newer Builds at the login, and then click OK. And you can do that for each user that you'd like to remove the message. And again, that message will only appear for administrators. With SmartFIll, you can add calculated fields to your objects. For example, perhaps you want to see the quantity available for your inventory items. We have a KB article with steps on how to do that, but we'll go through it here as well. Let's take a look at the calculated field. On the Items object, I've already added my calculated field. For my calculated field, I first linked the item quantity master to my item master. Then I created a filter, and I set the record type equal to 1. And this is so I don't get results for every site, but rather all sites together, so I can see my total quantity available. And then last, I created the calculated field. And I did this by taking the quantity on hand and subtracting the quantity allocated. And I've set my new field to display. Now when I do a test, I can see my quantity available. There may be times when you temporarily want to disable SmartFIll in the window that you are using. We have a KB article on how to do that, but let's go take a look. In the window and field, start entering your information. And when the Make a Selection window opens, you have two options for temporary disable. If you choose just this time, SmartFIll won't invoke for just this one lookup. If you choose for this window, SmartFIll will not invoke until you close the window and reopen it. SmartFIll objects can be specific to a company or a user. We have more information on how to grant or remove access for companies and users, but let's take a look at the window. To change user or company access for an object, select the object and click Actions, Object Access. From here, you can mark the users and companies that you want to add or remove. If you need to uninstall SmartFIll, you can do so by doing a complete uninstall from within GP. You'll want to refer to the User Guide Uninstall section for full steps, as there are some additional steps to completely remove SmartFIll. From within GP, go to the blue R and SmartFIll Setup. Click the Uninstall tab. Workstation Uninstall will remove it just from that workstation. A complete uninstall will remove the tables and stored procedures. Click Complete Uninstall. When the uninstall completes, open the Dynamics GP code folder, find the files for SmartFIll. They'll be listed in the uninstall section of your user guide. Highlight and delete those. You can also check the data folder for any forms or reports dictionaries. After you've deleted your SmartFIll files, log back into GP and go to your Security Role Setup window. From here, delete your SmartFIll admin role that was created. And go to Security Task Setup and find the Admin SmartFIll task, and delete it. If you have any questions on SmartFIll or need assistance with registration keys, feel free to reach out to sales@rocktonsoftware.com. For technical questions, you can contact your salesperson or support@rocktonsoftware.com. Also, visit our website at rocktonsoftware.com.